Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and actually build the new Linux laptop. Okay? So let's go ahead and get started. So let's shut it down. Now, you can also do a terminal command if you're on Linux. You can do init 0 and just kill everything, sudo init 0. But instead of doing that, let's go ahead and just click on power off. And we're going to go ahead and restart the machine. We're going to hold down the F2 key. And that's going to allow us to actually boot. Now, don't forget to plug up the USB, right? Okay. Now, you see here, we're in BIOS, okay? All right, so here in the BIOS, you're going to see Boot Manager. So that Boot Manager is showing the current disk, and it's going to also show the USB. So go ahead and click on that USB, and then now go ahead and install the operating system. So now what it's going to do is it's going to boot the OS from the USB stick. Let's take a couple seconds here. Let me go ahead and pause this because it's going to take a few seconds. Okay, so now you can see we have the screen, right? So we have the boot screen. So let's go ahead and install the operating system. Trying to work this camera so you can see it a little bit better. Okay, let's go ahead and install. So my language is English. I don't need any accessibility. Keyboard is English. And we do have a Wi-Fi network, but we're not going to connect to the Wi-Fi network for right now. Install Ubuntu. Because when you connect to, so here's the thing. Let me explain this. So when you connect to the Wi-Fi, it's connected. All right. When you connect to the Wi-Fi network, what happens is it can slow down the install because it's downloading a whole bunch of updates. So instead of doing that, just go ahead and get started, right? Let me go ahead and bring this back. Okay. And see if you can see. Okay. Interactive. You can do automated too, but we're not even close to being there. We're going to use the offline ability. This is if you want to put in a whole, don't install a bunch of stuff. You can do that on your own. This is just the essential, just the basics. Okay, third-party graphics and Wi-Fi hardware, which it does see the Wi-Fi hardware. It sees the Wi-Fi network that is around me, but I'm not going to connect to that right now, okay? And we're going to click on, we're going to go to the next thing. Let me just pause it because those sitting here watching this. All right, now here's the big thing. Erase the disk and start from scratch, right? So you have the manual installation option. That's pretty advanced. That's when you go in and you want to, this is the local machine. This is the USB drive. This gets into something that's way more complicated, a little bit too much for the very first time for a beginner. So let's just go back. Let's do erase disk, install Ubuntu. We're going to use logical volume management. Not even going to bother explaining that right now. So let's go ahead and do that. Click on next. Now we're going to create an encryption phase. Let me go ahead and pause it. Okay, we have our encryption phase. So it's going to pop up and ask for encryption. Now we put our local account to log in. Let me go ahead and pause it. Then we basically complete the installation. So it runs through, installs all the files on the local machine. As you can see, this is the physical computer. It's not a virtual machine. It's going to install everything, install the operating system, all the files, all the packages. And then after that, we'll be ready to go ahead and start using Linux. Now, here's the thing. I want everyone to kind of really understand this, and let me explain this so that it's clear. Now, you don't need a course like Code Cloud or any kind of paid course to learn Linux. You literally can get everything you need to learn online for free on YouTube or on so many different websites that Linux is promoted and taught. So you definitely do not need to pay. But here's the thing. Structured format of a program, that is what is a challenge, right? So you can literally follow the guide that Linux Foundation has on their website of how to actually learn the Linux environment, the Linux platform in order to take the exam. You can actually follow that entire list, practice hands-on, because the exam is practical. It is hands-on, so it's not like there's a multiple choice. It's not like LPI, some of these other CompTIA, Linux Plus. There's no margin of error. Either you know how to do it or you don't, which is one of the reasons why I really do like Red Hat Certified Systems Administrator exams, Red Hat Certified Engineer, and the Linux Foundation exam, and also the new Ubuntu Essentials exam, because they focus on hands-on ability. It's not about multiple choice exams. So what happens for employers and for people who are hiring people and hiring IT people, or if you're working as a consultant, is you're able to show that you actually have the skill based upon passing a practical hands-on exam. And that's what's different with Linux and hands-on practical exams for cybersecurity. And that's what separates everything. That's why the AWS SysOps certification is actually pretty good, because there's a hands-on component to it. I really do not like multiple choice exams, because you can have people that literally they study for the test, they memorize a couple key terms, they get lucky with a lot of different options, and they pass the exam. Boom, you know. But with a practical hands-on exam, if you know it, then you pass. If you don't know it, you don't pass. Period. So, okay, so this is day one. Day one of 30 days of Linux, and I look forward to continuing this journey on day to day, and let's see what happens. All right, let's get to day 30. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and close out.